Hello friends, today we are going to do session number 8 titled Designing New Policy Framework Work from Home for our stream Policy and Regulatory Framework for GovTech. In this stream, we would cover work for home as a norm, we would cover work from home policy in making which has been initiated by Government of India. We would also refer to implementation experiences. Then we would propose an utopian framework for work from home where we intend to cover it through a conceptual framework of when, why, who and how. We would then cover cybersecurity aspects of work from home and finally do the details of best practices of Singapore and Japan where they have drafted their respective work from home policies. Before I start with the actual topic, I would take you to a story. The story could be titled, Should the Corporates Invade Our Homes? The corporates could be read as organizations also. I start the story. A youngster was attending a video conference with his manager who was upset about the background noises coming from the home of the youngster. The youngster turned around and told his grandmother to keep quiet. The grandmother walked towards the youngster to take a look into his machine and asked him, "Who is he?" The youngster muted his audio and video and said, "Grandma, he is my manager." The grandma said, "Well, I want to talk to your manager," but the youngster denied. By the time the manager started pinging the youngster and the youngster unmuted to talk and his grandmother shouted, "Manager, I want to talk to you." The manager agreed and the youngster unmuted the video. The grandmother with a smile said, "Welcome," and introduced herself, and the manager also greeted the grandmother. The grandmother told the manager, "You look upset." The manager said, "Yeah, some kind of work tension, and also grandmother, a lot of noise around your house and we are unable to complete the meeting in time." The grandmother said, "May I help solve your problem?" Her grandson was stopping her, telling her to keep quiet. The manager said, "It's okay, let the grandmother speak." Therefore, the grandmother started narrating a story to the manager. She said, "Once there was a young man who sat under a tree for taking rest. He was continuously hearing a bird sound. He lifted his head and seeing a bird, started chasing the bird so that the person could sleep peacefully and take some rest. The bird came closer to that young man and said, 'You are taking rest under my nest. I will not ask you to leave this place, but you should also learn to coexist with us.'" After completing the story, the grandmother looked at both of them and said, "Your home is your nest, where you are supposed to take rest and bond with your dear and near ones. I do understand the COVID-19 situation, but you should also understand that our home is not our office. When we come to visit our family members at your office place, we are also expected to behave professionally or maintain a certain decorum. Similarly, when the office is using our home for their office work, they should also understand the situation at our home. There is nothing wrong with working from home, but remember, it is the family members' benevolent nature that is keeping the organizational world functioning today and the economy running." She looked at the manager and said, "Am I correct, manager?" The manager's mother peeped and said, "You are absolutely right." Work from home. It was already a norm in corporate world before the pandemic hit us. Other organizations, especially public sector, have been caught unprepared for such a sudden transition. Office spaces provide a structure, support, ecosystem, uniformity that is designed to encourage productivity, and we don't find that usually in home spaces. The role of government organization is much more critical, and hence work from home has become an imperative here. The end point of public service delivery is citizen and their welfare, which is indeed a critical need where we cannot afford any disruption. Hence the need for work from home policy. Work from home policy of Government of India is already in making. This policy intends to focus on virtual offices the departments that are not using e-office to attend to work in lockdown. This policy is also trying to focus on web room meetings that have almost become a norm at all levels of the government, and the need for new protocols is there. This work from home policy of Government of India is also trying to focus on digital central secretariat, attached offices, subordinate offices, autonomous bodies that have now accepted work from home policy as a norm. This norm is also trying to cover virtual private networks and home working policies. It is more focused on network security in home Wi-Fi. It is focused on ability to securely connect users, endpoint protection of all laptops, multi-factor authentication, and ability to block malware from the machines that are being used in home environment. The implementation experience of Government of India has so far been very encouraging when it comes to work from home. I must share with you 75 ministers on e-office, 57 ministries have already achieved more than 80% of work on e-office. 16 lakh e-files have already been handled at central secretariat level. We have also enabled digital central secretariat as per CSMOP policy of 2019, where VPN has been provided up to deputy secretary level. NIC teams have created functional web rooms through a video app. Digital infrastructure initiatives have also borne the fruit. We already had BharatNet, Meghraj, eSign, DigiLocker, etc. in implementation phase in Government of India. The impact of integrated service portals have also been fruitfully felt. For example, DRPG has already come up with COVID-19 PG portal. Keeping this situation in mind, especially with reference to Government of India, we have now realized work from home cannot be an isolated approach. We need to combine work from home with work from office. The need of the hour is a holistic and systematic approach to the question of when to work from home so that it is affordable, personal capacities are taken in consideration, capability and the local context of the employees is also taken into account. These are very important aspects to be considered for design of work from home policy. The whole purpose of work from home policy is to ensure that the employer has minimum burden of office infrastructure and the employee is able to encash reduced transportation expenses, employee morale while working safely at home. The whole idea is safety first so that we avoid the spread of pandemic in these turbulent times. Work from home policy should also cover who is responsible for what. It should decide as per the nature of the job, number of people required to do it and circumstances of the employee before deciding a blanket approach. The nature of the job involves whether the job is critical or non-critical, whether the job is creative or routine, whether the job is confidential or routine, how many people are required to fulfill the job, what are the circumstances of the employees individually. Because the personal situation of each employee varies as per their family, as per the space available to them, as per their willingness and the nature of people surrounding them, as I talked in the story also. Also, work from home policy must cover issues being faced by employees that need to be tackled. For example, some people come under more emotional and mental distress because of lack of connect with their fellow colleagues and due to extended periods of isolation. Disruption in home-based workspace due to day-to-day domestic activities, non-availability of a separate isolated space to conduct webinars and engage in meetings should also be a very important consideration for work from home policy. Lastly, a very important aspect of work from home policy should be inculcating cyber security norms. Let's not forget, work from home raises challenges as home networks are inherently not as secure as office ones. Ensuring that the digital devices at home have adequate cyber protection and the users have proper cyber hygiene. Work from home policy must ensure that at least 2 regularly updated antivirus are loaded by the employees on their machines. The employees should be insisted that they use password managers, password lockers, encrypted wallets. Employees must be preferably given a hardware key, especially those who are handling critical jobs. The employees should be asked to keep updating the patches and upgrades of the software installed on their respective machines. Apart from that, work from home policy should be clearly delineating the use of VPN, endpoint and identity solutions, overall guidelines of cyber hygiene that must be mandated in that policy. Employees learning new processes and applications will turn their phones more than usual because they feel familiar with the phones. So, work from home policies defining what can and can't be done with mobile phones also need to be in place. Jai Hind.